This man having a foot fetish. Between this and House of the Dragon, y'all, give me a break. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Blue Eye Samurai. We're now into episode 4, which is called Peculiarities. So in the last episode, we had the rescue of Mizu, which she had just finished fighting the Four Fangs. We see that Taigen was tempted to take her life, but thankfully he thought better of it. And Ringo, the best sidekick ever, grabbed her up, took her, healed her, basically like sewed her up, got her medicine to get her at least back to a point where she could walk around. And in the middle of all that, she got an invitation from Heiji to meet at a particular location for tea. And Taigen tailed along because Taigen, of course, wants his rematch and is really scared that if Nizo goes off and gets killed, he won't get a chance to regain his honor. So in this meeting, we see that Heiji offers Mizu an option of becoming one of his lords, basically taking over a territory along with a clan, getting lots of money, and that all it would take was her promising to never raise a hand to him or to Fowler, who is the white man he protects. And she refuses this offer, of course, and then his secondary offer is that he will help her get into the fortress that Fowler lives in exchange for taking Fowler's life, because he says they're in a partnership, but he doesn't want that partnership to continue. So this is a way for him to get out from under it. But thankfully, our girl Mizu realizes there's something very off with both of these deals, so she refuses them and she cuts off Heiji's hand. And as a result, she almost gets killed along with Taigen because there's a bunch of archers there. And outside of that, we see that Princess Akemi went after her man. Things did not go as planned. She ended up getting robbed. Found out that her mentor, her whatever you call her, the man that takes care of her, that he's actually the one who brought the Shogun's son as an option for her to marry. And so she felt betrayed, and as a result, she basically lied and said that she was a prostitute and asked for passage to the town she was headed to in the first place. I'm excited to get this episode. Let's do this. But just before I do, a reminder that I do a lot of reactions here on this channel to all sorts of stuff. So if you would like to support me or be notified when I do more uploads for this show, please hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And if you like this video, please show it some love with some thumbs up and some comments below. All right, that out of the way, guys, let's get into the episode right about now. So genteel. Of course. I was just hit me that the two of them are going to be in House of Prostitution at the same time. Look at my girl. My girl's going to pick up friends of both Taigen and this girl.
Faster, they're about to start! Come on, it's going to be a bloodbath. Hurry up!
Why would you excitedly run to something that's going to be a bloodbath? He didn't have a good ring to his sword. Oh, this guy's got a scar. I definitely have money on Scruffy. Ooh. I'm Ringo. Who do you think's gonna win, Mizu? Over in one strike. Nice knowing you. Oh! My money was in the right place. I could bet on this.
Her signature. Immaculate.
Oh, that's why you don't gamble.
Madam Kaji's clients book months ahead. If you prefer older women, we cater to every taste.
My taste is to be seen by Madam Kaji.
Right, like I said what I said.
Ringo, this will be some time. If you'd like to explore the harbor.
An apprentice should stay with his master.
He ain't leaving today. Oh, similar eyes. Hello.
To be alive is to wake up and do things you don't want to do. Or don't bother waking up.
What? The messaging in this show is so depressing for women.
I like when you slap them.
It'd slap you, exactly.
Isn't it said, to master the way of battle, one must become acquainted with every art?
Every.
Sex.
Interesting.
An art.
It actually is, if you're doing it right.
If you are only a sword, are you even a man? Or a mere demon?
Interesting. I've been called both. Let me tell you the stories. So I guess you can pay to be a voyeur in this place too?
If willing to rise. To deny desire.
Oh, God. Oh, that's the one who was just in the square. I didn't even realize. Oh, girl, no, 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 not Tigan, please. Not Tigan, anyone but Tigan.
If the gentleman cannot state his desire, perhaps he prefers to write it.
I gotta say, this madam is good. She's good. She's selling it.
Murder in your eyes. I see your desire now.
His castle allows no one in, but you've sent your prostitutes to him. You've been inside. You've seen him.
And
If you serviced him at his keep, then there's a way inside. You will tell me
Fist.
where it is.
such good imagery.
If it was his right hand, consider yourself avenged.
It's very true. Let's hope
You
that wasn't his
provide
favorite hand.
services. So do I. Name your desire.
Right? Like, you can't tell me as a woman, especially in that business, that there ain't somebody you want taken care of.
Him and his 1,000-claw army.
Only 1,000?
Anyone who challenges him wakes to find 1,000 claws there to destroy everything they love.
That's what thugs do. Before the Yakuza, there was this.
I bought Kinuyo from her father, who'd grown tired of abusing her. He knew nothing about it.
Oh, that's horrible. People who abuse children, there's a special place for y'all.
She told me she would rather die than be touched by a man again.
Understandable.
I promised she never would be.
Ooh, maybe not a promise you could have made as a madam.
There is only one way to spare Kinuyo.
You want me to kill Boss Hamata?
You need to kill them all.
Her.
Oh, that's horrible, but I get what she's saying.
I want you to face Kinuyo and make this sign. She will know you are there as my hand, and she will be at peace.
This is so depressing, but I get it. Unfortunately, I sadly get it.
Please, if you don't let me in, Madam will beat me.
Does Kemi know? I guess she would, because she heard about him. I mean, I feel like these two could actually be friends, but right now Kemi's going to look at her as beef for obvious reasons. Especially since if she ever found out that Taigen is in a bad way because of her.
The 12 and 20 positions. Wife should be familiar with the 12. The 20 are for professionals, but you're marrying into the shogunate, so...
I mean, I suppose progressive, but...
Talk to me.
Not a Kemi.
Where would she have gone? I have no idea.
Saving your own neck now, huh?
Find my daughter.
I mean, I don't know if he's helping her or helping himself, to be honest, but I'm thinking more the latter.
We'll have good luck this way. I have a feeling.
But they recognize her? She's not all made up.
A hammer.
Sorry, Tegan, but really you could have minded your own damn business.
He humiliated you. He ruined your marriage into the Tokunobu clan.
Yeah, but he respects
Why
him now.
suffer so much to protect an enemy?
Didn't I say he was gonna hold out?
He deserves better than you.
They're spicy from that
Cut
village.
you with a knife.
Yeah. Well, at least, I'll give you that, Taigen. I can't feel bad for you, though, You brought this karma on yourself.
I plan to cut that shogun's head from his shoulders and reimagine this nation more to my liking.
Yeah, they were right about you being a demon, unfortunately. Thank God. His eyes are different. I don't think that's her dad.
Build into my new station a pulpit. I will send for your priests to bring them your
You really
word.
think this is the way God works, sir? You clearly have not read any of the word yourself. But then again, we all know how the Holy Crusades were and what the Holy Crusades were all about. People abusing it.
Tigan, that's his scarf.
Demon.
Okay, that's how we got here. Okay, so this is how this came about. Much more calculated than I thought.
Your richest client's favorite position.
Me, on top.
She didn't get a chance to get the whole scroll with all the positions.
You're the real thing, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. She knows.
An actual princess, bathed in milk,
Mm-hmm.
virgin. You've barely seen two cocks your whole life.
That part might be true, but she's seen one. Exactly.
But right now, she's regretting running away from her daddy's castle.
Facts.
Not at all. I'm eager to find a customer.
Isn't Watari the Walrus here tonight? On my first night, you made me prove my skills under him for 6 hours.
Oh God.
Crack 2 ribs.
The name like, oh God.
Never won a fair fight. Come closer.
Yeah, get closer.
I yearn for you most. On this
This man having a foot fetish.
I lie awake.
Between this and House of the Dragon, y'all, give me a break.
You know Bringa poetry too?
Look at that. The
What's a
man
party
actually wants his
without
mind
Brenda?
stimulated. What a concept, hey? He's gonna end up falling in love with you for real, sis. What you gonna do?
Sear me. I'll explode.
No man can grasp the sun.
Well, now I no longer like haikus. Thanks.
Sweet nectar of your body.
Glad you kept it to yourself. I mean, it was masterfully done, you have to admit.
One thing no man can resist. Himself.
Facts.
When it's only naked flattery. Do men usually fall for this?
The ones I've known. Yes.
Don't drink it!
If you'll join me, I have ugly business coming.
Yeah, let's both drink.
I beat the most ridiculous samurai there, if you can call him that.
Mm-hmm.
Saying I ruined his engagement. I think he was angrier about his hair than his marriage.
Whoop the tea!
Anyway, he's dead now.
Good answer.
What? Oh yeah, I killed him.
Mm-hmm. Saw through you. Nice try, though.
She's good.
Not the fact that they think they're getting down. Hilarious.
Oh, shut up. I didn't kill him. I left him with his life and a contract to fight.
Now get out.
You came all this way to save a doomed engagement?
Dummy.
Women in our world don't have a single good option. Except you. Like some magical forest creature. You could have anything you want.
Not
And then
really.
you beg to eat trash. She screams, kill her. She moves,
Kill her. Yeah, you know he's gonna let her out, right? Face. Nice try though, Ringo. You're such a softie. See?
He never lets Kinyu out of his sight. Only when the Moxa doctor comes each dawn to treat the sores Hamata gave her.
Yeah, I think you should take everyone out. I'm sorry, I know it's supposed to be just be her, but just a house clean would be great. Oh, wow, that was amazing. But yeah, a clean house wouldn't be a bad thing, would it? Oh, God. Oh. Okay. I thought he was going to have to, like, seal burns or something. You know, like, or burn to, like, seal the sores, which he may still. Okay, agility. This timing's not going to work for you, sis. Here you go. Are you sure you're not a ninja? Because I feel like you might be. Maybe you've learned a little something from Ringo from being real stealthy. Interesting. Kind of like acupuncture without the needles. I really hope all those beams are equally able to support weight.
I'll protect you.
I feel like this is going to get very sticky because I know what her objective was, but I was saying I don't think she's going to be able to do it. I really didn't think she'd be able to do it, but at least it was painless. Damn, you are a G, sis, because that wasn't easy. Yeah, you're gonna carry that forever.
Run to the night watchman. Tell him there's been a fight. 2 people. You hear me, boy? To the gate. Ho!
Before rock becomes shore is a well. 100 paces north is a door covered by tide. It leads to a tunnel under the sea.
Under the...
I wanted to meet you first, to see what power you have over Tigan, to send him running from me. Under your mask, you're not the killer you pretend to be. Your face isn't even so scary. You're just angry.
As you should be.
You're just like Tigan when we were children. Fucking brat.
Period.
Boy!
Kill everyone, then burn it down.
We tried. But I get it. The only other option was to take out the boy. Because I knew right away when she said to send off and say there was a fight. I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. Because how would you know there was a fight? In a fortress where no one should have known there was a fight other than his men. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I think he also would have known that none of his men had any reason. You know what I mean? A place like that, all the people there would be so terrified of ever touching his prized possession that he would know somebody came from the outside to do something. He would have known. Also, would that girl have even known how to stab that man in the neck? The only way that would have worked is if she could have drugged the guy with the guard that was in there somehow. I don't even know. Like, there was just no way to make it look like it was an accident. If anything, maybe frame the doctor, but maybe it was the doctor. No, it was one of his men. Anyway, it was kind of a doomed thing because that girl in particular was such a specific thing. As soon as the madam said that he took her because he knew she meant the most to her, that's what I'm like, there's no way you can either kidnap her or touch her without him immediately knowing that it had something to do with you, because who else would go after her? Nobody else had interest in her. Again, you would have been better off taking him out, because even if you took him out, maybe his men would have come there, but why would they? If anything, they would probably there'd be a power vacuum. One would try to take his place, or they'd fight over taking his place. Either way, they probably wouldn't have time to get back to trying to take your place down. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow, I understand it. And at least she gave her girl peace. Obviously, that was a very personal mission to the madam. And, very sad situation. Like, I don't know if if you're aware of the history of geishas and how it started out as something that was somewhat honorable, but then unfortunately got twisted and bastardized into just common prostitution. And it wasn't a great life. Like back in those, a long time ago in Japan, a lot of girls used to be sold into being geishas, but geishas weren't always just about pleasuring men in the sense of sexually. Like they were really trained in like the arts and in singing and in painting, and their job was really supposed to be like high level entertainers. And the more beautiful and, accomplished they were, the more position they actually got in society. And actually at some point, a lot of geishas got to a point where they were literally considered like national level performers. And some of them even got to the point where they would marry very well-established men. So my point is, it wasn't always what we're seeing here. And it's just sad to see these stories of all these girls that were put into these places, and women like this madam who did the best that she could. Like, she's in a world that's run by men, but her running a geisha house was a way for her to have some autonomy, a way for her to have some control over her life, over her body. But unfortunately, it meant that she had to exploit other women to do that. But at least, she did her best to live by a code. We see there that she promised that any girl that was in her care would at least not have to worry about suffering any abuse by her, because of course, a lot of these male run places, they treated the women absolutely terribly. But it's small comfort to think that you have to put up with, as she calls it, the peculiarities, these proclivities, these what we now today would call fetishes of men, and basically say that that's just something you have to provide in order to stay in the game. Like, it's just what women have been through, what us women have been through, what some of us are still going through. It's absolutely insane. And, it's so frustrating, the world that so many of these women, especially hundreds of years ago, had to go through. I mean, at least in this day and age, most women are able to provide for themselves, work for themselves, not be in a position where they have to do these things in order to just survive. But it's just sad that so many women did. And again, I feel like seeing these positions of these women over and over again, and seeing them as a juxtaposition to Mizu, who is able to do what she's doing right now because since she was a child, everyone has believed she is a boy. Like, she's been able to hide her gender this long, and we could all go up so quickly if anyone ever finds out that she is a woman. But it's just interesting, and the fact that it gives her a really interesting perspective as well. Like, I think seeing women in this position is kind of good for her in the sense of reminding her of how close the knife edge that she's literally standing in, standing on, I should say, as far as how her life could change just by people knowing the truth about her. But it also gives her a really unique perspective because she's perceived as a man, she's given freedom. She's left alone for the most part. She's respected to a certain degree. She's able to do her revenge mission and do that unaccosted and unmolested. But she understands, though, because she is a woman, how women think, how they act. She can relate to these women on a level that obviously they don't understand. And it also, of course, makes sure that she doesn't act like a typical man, which I'm sure would endear her to many a woman. So I just think it's very interesting that they keep kind of throwing these situations at Mizu of what her life could be like and how different it would have been if people knew she was a girl. And it reinforces why it's so important for her to keep this secret as long as possible. Because, like I said, it doesn't matter how well she can fight. It doesn't matter how much she's accomplished. Her deeds, the tales of what she's done, that will all go up in smoke the second people find out she's a woman. They will never admit that a woman was capable of doing these things, and we know why. So, anyways, interesting episode. And like I said, I did think that she and Akemi were going to interface at some point. I thought before in the last episode that maybe Mizu would actually try to go into the castle as a woman herself, right? Because I'm like, that would actually be the perfect cover. But then the more I thought about it afterwards, I was like, how would she even sneak her sword in? Like, there's no way. Like, they do have them long, robes they be wearing, the kimonos, but I don't think there's one that's big enough to hide a whole sword. So maybe that wouldn't work at all, actually. And like, she really likes to have like her medals on and stuff, and there'd be no way to hide those. So, and she wouldn't really even know the first time. I don't think she'd know the first thing about how to put on geisha makeup, even if she wanted to. But anyway, her getting to meet Akemi and, Akemi getting to try and avenge her man. I'm glad that my girl Mizu knew what was up from the get-go. I forgot that she saw Akemi in the carriage being carried away and that she actually looked her right in the face. But again, I didn't really think that she was paying much attention. But I guess we're learning now that my girl Mizu has a very good memory. But yes, I'm glad that she didn't get played and she played along as long as she could to figure out what was going on. But again, we know that Mizu she's hell-bent on revenge, but she's not reckless in the sense of just taking out any and everyone. Like, she really does only take out people that she cannot avoid taking out. And she knew that with this princess, she has no beef with her. And knowing that she's Taigen's fiance, it's like, I get why you're here. It's valid, I suppose. But really, I have no beef with you. And honestly, it wouldn't be a fair fight in the least. So please just go back to your daddy. But anyways, it's interesting now that now that they all know who each other is, it's very interesting that I honestly think Akemi was telling the truth when she said that she found Mizu's eyes beautiful. And I think that actually caught Mizu off guard a little bit as well, because she's never heard anything good said about her eyes. But also, I think that Akemi, like when she said, you're not even scary looking in your face, you're not ugly, you're just angry, right? So again, I think that, like I said, I did say from the beginning that I think Akemi and Mizu could actually be friends because they are very similar in some ways and definitely in their positions in life, if of course Akemi ever finds out the truth. But yeah, I think this is the step towards that. Like, Taigen is already literally being tortured for Mizu right now, which we'll get to in a sec. But now I think Akemi is going to somehow, I don't think we're done seeing her. I do think she's going to want to go with or follow Mizu now, because she knows that Mizu is going to lead her to Taigen some way or another. But now that she also knows that they were childhood friends, of course she wants to know more about Taigen, because I have a feeling Taigen doesn't talk much about his past because he's ashamed of it. So I think that there's going to be another friendship that develops there. I have a sneaking suspicion Akemi is going to find out her secret as well. There's been a burning question, and the reason I feel like she might find out, and again, I don't know if the show will go there, but since they've been showing full nudity and stuff, they clearly aren't afraid of adult topics. But this is something I've always wondered as a side note for any of these shows that have a woman that's posing as a man, is that, especially back then, and I'm sorry, this might get a little weird for some of y'all who are watching, but women have monthly things that they deal with, right? Actually, I'm not even sorry. Grow up. Women have monthly things. Y'all should know this. If you don't, then you need to go educate yourselves. Don't get weirded out. But digressing. Women have this monthly thing we got to deal with every month for a good chunk of our lives, and she would definitely still be in the age range of someone dealing with that. How does she hide it? How does she dealing with that? Because men don't have that problem. So I'm just wondering if she just hides for like a week, a month. Just goes somewhere, hides in hopes that no one sees her, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it's not the easiest thing to keep secret. And again, I'm not saying it's hard. I mean, obviously, even back then they had ways of dealing with it, but yeah, I'm just wondering how she gets away with, that particular situation. Again, there's also a chance that because she's so skinny and she's so muscular, it's possible that her body weight is so low that it's not happening, but that's just getting way into the science. But anyways, that's just one thing I'm wondering, is that what happens if just, she has a little accident and then all of a sudden there's like a blood stain on her pants. How does she explain that? Does she say she accidentally cut herself, like on her inner thigh? Like, what do you even say, right? So anyway, I'm just wondering if that might be something that might end up being the giveaway for Akemi. But like I said, I just have a sneaky suspicion Akemi will find out. But anyhow, that was good that we got those two to meet. And like I said, I feel like it's going to be yet another ally for Mizu in the long run. As I mentioned before, the other thing we saw is that Taigen is unfortunately being tortured at the hands of Heiji right now, because he knows that Heiji knows who Taigen is. But of course, the extent to how much Taigen knows Heiji, he's not sure. At least I don't think he's not sure. I don't think he's sure of how far back they go. But I was right in my prediction last episode in that Taigen now has so much respect for Mizu that he's not going to break. At least I don't think he is, because that whole background bonding thing that they did last episode, being from the same small town and having their humble beginnings and how far he's come. Like I said, he is a jerk. I still don't particularly like him at this point, but I'm not going to take away the fact that it took a lot for him to climb up from where he was to get to where he was before his fight with Mizu. So he's not a weakling. He can take some pain. And again, sadly, because of his past with his dad, he's no stranger to getting abused. But it still is horrible. And, how long he'll be able to hold out, how much more he can possibly take, that'll be the question. But yeah, it is good to see that respect has been built for Mizu. And again, I think it's a combination of respect for him as a swords person, but also the respect that he has as someone who came from his background and his hometown. He really realizes how tough Mizu is, I guess is the point, and he really respects that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't think Heiji has any reason to kill Taigen at this point. I think if anything, he might use Taigen as bait, but now there's a rescue mission, I guess. In the end, maybe Taigen's going to end up owing Mizu his life, which would be very interesting. Again, because technically I think Mizu helped him with the arrows. So outside of that, we just had a very small moment with Fowler. We know that Fowler is trash. He is a terrible person. His plan is that if he does get to take over the shogunate and take out the shogun, he wants to basically colonize. Let's just call it what it is. He wants to colonize Japan, doesn't like that it's something that isn't the way that he likes, doesn't like that it's different, and more importantly, he doesn't like that they don't bend to his will and do what he wants and think of him as something better because he's white. And so he wants to teach Japan a lesson. And he had the nerve to actually pray to God about that, as if God would back him up. It's reinforcing the fact that when Mizu takes his man out, it'll definitely be no reason to cry. And as I said, I noticed in the episode 2, his eyes seem to be green, whereas we know that Mizu's eyes are blue. So I'm praying that that's not actually her father, because again, while I don't think she'll be mad about taking him out in the long run, I still think it would suck if that was her dad either way, because no one wants their dad to be that evil, right? So anyway, yeah, that was an interesting episode. Once again, very good. Lots of deep themes in there and animated beautifully. Enjoyed it a lot, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love to this video, and I will see you in the next one.